once again. And there is an old Kurdish saying, the Kurds have no friends but the mountains. But the latest developments in Afrin mean the Kurds are forming new alliances, making new friends in some unusual places. Well, here to talk about that is our international affairs editor, Leila Jacinto, who's just written a piece on the issue. Thanks for being with us, Leila. Now, as we've been talking about, Damascus has then come to the aid of these, after all, Syrian Kurdish fighters in Afrin. Tell us a bit about this agreement between the YPG, the Kurdish group that Erdogan says are terrorists, and the Syrian government.
Well, I mean, reports of a deal between the Syrian military and the Kurdish YPG has been circulating for days. And on Monday, there were contradictory reports, with the Syrian state media saying there was a deal, then the YPG later saying there was no deal. And in the end, on Monday, the troops did not enter into this Kurdish enclave. That changed dramatically today when this convoy of 50 cars crossed through the Kurdish checkpoints and went into Afrin. Now, was there a deal? The YPG has made no mention of a deal. Turkey has denied that there's a deal. The Turkish presidential spokesman said that reports of a deal are based on facts, and there are dirty, quote unquote, dirty and secret negotiations. So, which means that there may not be an official deal, but there is an agreement on the ground. And the fact that there's no deal, as I examine in my piece, shows you how tricky these negotiations have been. The key sticking points is that Assad wants to have political control of Afrin. These are the regions he withdrew from in 2012, and that's why the Kurds controlled this enclave. The Syrian government would like to provide security as well as politics. They want to administer the region, to take it back. The Kurds, of course, want no such things. They want Syrian troops for security, but they want to administer the enclave themselves. And that is why, we cannot really have an official deal. But the security situation is so grave right now that the Kurds will be happy for any help. And Assad, of course, does not want an incursion by Turkey into what he sees as his sovereign territory. So, this just underscores how murky the situation is.
And things are changing on the ground for the Kurds in the region, aren't they? We've had this failed bid for statehood by Iraqi Kurds last year. We've seen what's happening in Syria. There are all these complex relationships developing across the region. Tell us a bit more about that.
No, you're absolutely right. If the saying goes that the Kurds have no friends but the mountains, there's another saying that the Kurds do not have a motherland because they always fight between themselves. They're so fractious. In Iraq, what we are seeing is actually very interesting. Earlier this month, all these rival Iraqi Kurdish political parties, the KDP, which was founded by Barzani, the PUK, which was founded by Jalal Talabani. These are rival groups that have even come to a civil war in the past. And the opposition Goran party, they all came together in the Iraqi Kurdish parliament to condemn this attack by Turkey into Syria. And there was a delegation that actually traveled to Afrin and provided hospital supplies. What's happening in Iraqi Kurdistan is that they actually have pretty close economic ties with Turkey. Turkey has been a big investor in the region. So the Barzanis are having to play a very delicate game. But it seems like, the fact that Turkey is attacking their brothers in Syria has actually brought the Iraqi Kurds together to condemn this attack. And even in Iran, there are Kurds in Iran too. And the PKK, which is based in Turkey, has an Iranian affiliate, but who have some positions in Iraqi Kurdistan. But the Iraqi Kurdish administration has managed to get the Iranian Kurdish groups to back away because, Iran is very much on the side of Assad. And so you can see the changing chess pieces on this game moving very dramatically. And so, in fact, the Syrian Kurds are getting strange new allies. Assad on the one hand, the Iraqi Kurds on the other hand, as well as Tehran, who does not want to see Turkey in Syrian territory at all.
Yeah, the situation is certainly changing very quickly. Leila, thank you very much indeed. Leila Jacinto there, and you can read her pieces on the France 24 website, so do check that.